Welcome back, everybody. Once again, my name is Nick Auletta, and I'm a Vice President here at Summit Security Services. This is our second segment today on the Infragard Domestic Terror Watch. In our earlier segment, we were talking about the three major changes we've seen in the security industry since the September 11th attacks. Earlier, we highlighted the increased use of technology, as well as the greater emphasis on emergency planning. Now I'd like to talk about the third major change, which is the increased use of public-private partnerships. Obviously, the Infragard Alliance is a great example of this type of partnership. The purpose of this partnership is to increase sharing of information and in turn better protect our cities, states, and nation. Infragard and the FBI's partnership is a great example as businesses not only receive up-to-date information to help them continually protect themselves, but the FBI and DHS then receive greater amount of leads and therefore intelligence from the private sector. We've not only seen this on the federal level, but also at the local level. Many local law enforcement agencies now have their own partnership associations. For example, in New York, there is NYPD SHIELD, Nassau County SPIN, and Suffolk County SCAN, just to name a few. These associations typically require vetting of its members before allowing membership, but are critical sources of information for the private sector. This intelligence sharing was seen firsthand during the days leading up to the anniversary of the September 11th attacks. On September 8th, these networks reported an unconfirmed but specific threat against New York or Washington, D.C. Further reports went on to detail more specifics on the potential threat. Specifically, 3 individuals had arrived in the country within the last month with the intention of using a vehicle-borne explosive device. The 3 individuals were thought to be American citizens or individuals who had spent large amounts of time living in the U.S. The type of vehicle was reported to be a construction or trade type van. This type of intelligence sharing may seem fairly expansive, but I think it did 2 things effectively. 1, it did not reveal in specifics how our law enforcement intelligence agencies were handling the threat. Businesses and citizens were told that both law enforcement and our intelligence community were actively working to protect New York and Washington, D.C. without giving away specific, confidential details. 2, it made the threat specific enough to raise security awareness for a particular type of threat. Bulletins were sent out among private sector companies on security checks and general awareness tips, which in turn promoted the Homeland Security slogan, "If you see something, say something," as more eyes were alert for suspicious behavior. I believe this is exactly the type of information sharing that is needed, and we will continue to see in the future as the domestic terrorism threat evolves. Private sector companies and our country's citizens do not need to know the specific techniques of our law enforcement, intelligence, and defense agencies, but providing a better picture of the threat, more eyes are alerted to protecting the nation. That concludes our show for today. We appreciate everyone taking the time to join us. Please join us next month as we continue to examine the evolving realm of domestic terrorism and look at Al-Qaeda's waning significance in today's world. Thank you.